Good morning and welcome. We are delighted to have you join us for our Sunday morning service. Whether you are joining us in person or online, we hope you will come again. There are many ways to become an active member of our congregation. If you would like to learn more, we would love to get to know you and help you make new connections. I am happy to talk with you in person, on Zoom, or by phone. Please contact me, Tina Lewis, at tlewis@unitytemple.org if you would like to set up a time to talk. You may also fill out a visitor form on our website at www.unitytemple.org. I look forward to being in touch with you soon. We hope you have a meaningful experience and will join us again.
Good morning. My name is Matthew Bruce. My pronouns are he, him, and I serve on your board of trustees. It is my pleasure to welcome you here this morning. While masks are no longer required, we do still recommend them as a way to protect each other. If you are here for the first time, thank you for joining us. We look forward to getting to know you. We invite everyone present in the sanctuary today to join our in-person community time immediately following the service. If you have a question or topic for the board, we're trying something new. Please come and find us during the community hour. One of us will be there to chat. Today it will be me. We're trying this in addition to reflecting with the board and other ways to communicate with the congregation. Each week we remind ourselves of our congregation's core values: connection, transformation, justice, and acceptance. Our mission is to embody these core values in our daily lives by welcoming all, inspiring compassion, nurturing wonder, and serving community. Serving community means we act in partnership with other local organizations and communities for justice. It means we try to put our faith into action through service. We are so glad you are with us today. We hope you find the service inspiring and meaningful. I invite you now to take a moment to greet one another, either here in the sanctuary or online.
They did not need much prompting for that, do they?
No, ready to go.
She's running late.
That's fine.
Up here. Bring your backpack. You ready? You ready?
And now, if you would take your seats, we have a message from the auction committee.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Today is our final day for the auction. It'll be over tonight at midnight. Please, join us for to see everything that's left over on the table. You can just meet us right over there where cookie hour is. We'll have all the treats there. You'll be able to see what's left. I call it cookie hour. It's all about, it's the truth. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank all the donors, everybody that's involved. We have over 400 participants, and most importantly, I want to thank just everybody together that worked together. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but the auction committee has been working on this for about 6 months. And so, yeah, lots of emails, meetings, conversations, and everything. And it really is a community, a group effort in essence. And I just want to thank everybody, and especially our families, for putting up with us and all their patience with that. So thanks again, everybody, and join us for cookie hour and look at all what's left. Thank you.
Our cellist later today is Olivia. Olivia likes the color blue, and Olivia likes to imagine. Please join me in the words of our cellist lighting. We are Unitarian, Universalists. This is the church of the open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. We take care of the planet Earth and each other.
Do not leave your baggage at the door. Bring it here with you. Bring it with your bruises, with your broken heart, and with your spiky armor that keeps everyone at arm's length. Bring it all here in the hopes that you might at last be free. Free to put down the baggage, free to heal your bruises, free to take off the armor and for your broken heart to mend, free in this faith community in which all are held in light and in love. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your life's journey, and wherever you are in the world, you are welcome here. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. Please join in singing our first hymn, number 1018 in the teal hymnal. Come and go with me. We will sing all 4 verses. So please stand as you are willing and able. Thank you. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. Where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. Where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. Where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. Where I'm bound. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. Where I'm bound. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. Where I'm bound. Please remain standing for our covenant.
Please join in the reading of the words of our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Emma Farrell. My pronouns are she and they. I serve on your spiritual care team. You can recognize us from these sparkly blue hearts. Before the service each week, there is a binder outside the doors to the sanctuary, and those of you who attend in person are invited to write your joy or sorrow in the binder, either before or after the service. For those of you online, we will review the chat each week and make sure to incorporate what is typed in the chat into the sharing next week. You can also email your joys or sorrows to joysandsorrows@unitytemple.org. If you would like to talk to someone about what is on your heart, please feel free to contact the spiritual care team. We are here to listen and sit with you in both times of joy and times of sorrow. You can reach any of us individually, or you can contact Reverend Don, or you can email spiritualcare@unitytemple.org. Here are the joys and sorrows for this week. Happy birthday to Jeanette Mancusi today, who is still young. We have a sorrow from Aiko Igarashi. Apologies for pronunciation. Please hold her friend, Big Gail, in our hearts, as she is still in a nursing room. And then we have a sorrow that my heart is having a hard time holding. Beloved member Becky Yang transitioned back into Stardust on February 8th. She leaves behind a husband and 2 young kids. The memorial service is this afternoon. If you'd like more information, please feel free to talk to me. We also honor the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken, perhaps that might be too tender to share aloud. When the music begins in a moment, we invite anyone who has a joy or a sorrow in their minds or on their hearts to come forward to silently drop a stone in the bowl of water. As you come forward, please form lines along the side and then return up the middle aisle. And in the interest of time, please start the line up near the corners of the table. If you are so moved, please join us in singing Spirit of Life. The words will be on the screen.
Thank
Now let us enter together in a moment of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life and love, whether we gather in person or virtually, we share the spirit of community, the presence of love, and the power of connection. May we continue to discover our strength individually and together. May we shape our days to include expressions of gratitude and joy, and may we feel empowered to share our struggles. Let this be a journey of love, authenticity, and forgiveness, and may we continue to show compassion in all that we do. Blessed be. Today, Reverend Dawn will be relating to the story of two wolves inside of us in her sermon today. And so I have a video to share with you that explains that story. And after the video, the children can come down and join us for religious education in Unity House.
There is a story, usually attributed to the Native American tradition, which illuminates different ways of paying attention. An elder, talking to a child, says, "I have two wolves fighting in my heart. One wolf is fearful, vengeful, envious, resentful, and deceitful. The other wolf is compassionate, loving, generous, truthful, and peaceful." The child asks, "Which wolf will win the fight?" The elder responds, "The one I feed." That doesn't mean we try to deny or hurt or kill the angry wolf. If we did that, we'd end up in a long battle, all the while somehow making that wolf more powerful through our hostility and fear. Hating that wolf sucks the strength right out of us. Instead, we calmly pay attention to the angry wolf and let go of believing they have the answers. If we can do that, they end up lying down next to us, no longer an enemy. We help strengthen the kind and loving wolf, giving it nourishment and support so that we can follow it. That peaceful wolf can become our steady companion and show us the way through all kinds of different life experiences. Restful or chaotic, enjoyable or disappointing experiences may come and go, but we can have a guide with us through it all. This is what mindfulness can help you do. Mindfulness allows us to see our thoughts and feelings as they are beginning. It's very powerful to know what we're feeling as we're feeling it, know what we're thinking as we're thinking it. With mindfulness, we can choose what will strengthen and bring into action, and we can choose what we will gently let go of. We don't have to be at the mercy of old habits or old ways of thinking or old ways of being. We are empowered. It just takes practice.
Follow me to RE.
Thank you for the lovely music this morning. Hi. It's so lovely to see you all this morning and to kind of intuit that those of you who are online are there. I'm guessing, maybe not, but I was originally thinking that there might be more than the usual number online today, what with yesterday having been declared a National Day of Hate by Nazi groups. If you didn't see it, they were encouraging their folks to drop banners, to vandalize Jewish houses of worship. And some reports said other liberal religious institutions might also be subject to such activity. So if you stayed home today, I don't blame you. And I'm so glad that we have this technology now that can allow us to worship together both in person and online. And I was so glad to look through the news this morning and find out that yesterday turned out to be more bark than bite. And, man, I am so tired and heartbroken. Between this and the anti-trans legislation that is pending in many states, the continued and escalating attacks on reproductive health care, our dehumanizing immigration and incarceration policies, and so much more, I am tired and heartbroken. I know you are too. I usually try to put on a really hopeful and cheery face to focus on this small corner of the world that I have some influence over, to try and help the congregation that I am serving, this one right now, to be what I believe most of our Unitarian Universalist congregations want to be. Places where we counter the messages of hate and instead preach love and inclusivity. Where we try to live up to our values and rise up for those that we know need just the message we offer, not of salvation in some other life, but of what we can do together, create together, how we can be together in this life, and how, for many of us, that is salvation in this life. It is life-saving. faith communities where we preach a message that you are lovable and you are loved and that your whole self is welcomed. That's what I usually try and focus on. And that usually gets me by pretty well. But not always. My plan from weeks ago was to talk today about an approach to community building that I learned early in my ministry. How in order to build community, we feed health and starve dysfunction and interrupt harm. It was gonna be really good. Really meaty with lots of examples and history, and it was gonna be good. Just trust me. But as the week wore on, I began to feel like, while this is an important topic to preach about, it was too in my head for my broken heart. And then, as it sometimes turned out, the Spirit or the Muse, whatever you prefer to call it, had completely different plans for today. So I hope you get that sermon in the future. It'll be great. And instead, today, I want to focus on not the how of community building, but instead on the what. What are we doing here? Because, beloveds, building religious community is not easy. It is not for the faint of heart. When we tell you that you don't need to leave your baggage at the door, well, that means we have a whole lot of hurting people with a lot of baggage here. A lot of us wearing spiky armor that is both heavy and exhausting and tends to poke those around us. What are we doing here? This isn't a country club where we get together just for social reasons. Those social activities are one component of a healthy, thriving congregation. This isn't a TED conference full of things to learn, though learning is certainly also a part of a healthy, thriving congregation. This isn't a Kiwanis club that focuses on serving the larger community, although serving the community and social justice work is also a part of a healthy congregation. But in addition to all of these, here we bring our whole selves, our joys and our sorrows, our concerns and our celebrations. Here we honor the milestones of life, the births, the deaths, and we support each other in times of need. Here we look for what has meaning and purpose. We look for what matters. And we come together to use our skills, our gifts, our talents, to share our resources, to create a small glimpse of the world as we hope it will be, of the world as we believe it could be. And because we come from such different backgrounds and life experiences, because the world as we want it to be isn't really the same for everybody. Because even when we do agree on the end result, we often don't agree on what it will take to get there, because we are all different, and because there will always be differences of opinion, and because of that, there will always be conflict. And if we are bringing our entire vulnerable selves, there will likely be a time when we will unintentionally hurt other people, and where we will unintentionally be hurt ourselves. Because, beloveds, what we are creating here is not safe space, where we're all wrapped in bubble wrap and protected from harm. Instead, in order to create this microcosm of the world as we hope it will be, we are creating brave space where we acknowledge the likelihood that you will be uncomfortable. There will be conflict. Not only that, but that these are good things and essential to growth. The term brave space was first popularized by Brian Arrow and Christy Clemens in 2013 in their book, The Art of Effective Facilitation, Reflections from Social Justice Educators. Speaking of classrooms, they said that a brave space contained 5 main elements. Number 1, controversy with civility, where varying opinions are accepted. Number 2, owning intentions and impacts in which participants acknowledge and discuss instances where a dialogue has affected the emotional well-being of a participant. Number 3, challenge by choice, where participants have an option to step in and out of challenging conversations. Number 4, respect, where participants show respect for one another's basic personhood. And number 5, no attacks, where participants agree not to intentionally inflict harm upon each other. Beloveds, that's a covenant. A behavioral covenant that creates a space where participants can bring their whole hurting, imperfect selves and create something together that transcends them as individuals, a community, a classroom, a congregation. This is why we are working on a behavioral covenant here at Unity Temple right now. Does creating brave space, creating a congregation that embodies our values of interdependence, pluralism, justice, equity, generosity, and transformation, does this mean that we will always be happy and get along? Absolutely not. In fact, the more wholly and fully we give of ourselves, the more vulnerable we make ourselves. The more likely we are to be uncomfortable, to be challenged, to make mistakes. The more likely we are to be let down. And yet, if we truly believe that what we are building is life-saving for ourselves and for others, then provided we haven't lost too much blood from the spiky armor of others, we will come back again and again. We will allow ourselves to move out of our comfort zones and to grow. Beloveds, this work that we are about, it is hard. It is not easy. Here's something about it, though, that I've learned along the way. It gets easier. Like any muscles that get used regularly, it begins to get easier. We get stronger and we begin to develop muscle memory. I remember probably one of the first times I was called out for causing harm. I caused someone emotional distress and damaged our relationship. And I unintentionally caused harm to the community that we were trying to build together. I was mortified. I was so embarrassed. I was humiliated to be called out. And I acted out of self-defense. I did not take ownership of my actions or my words, blaming them instead on external factors. When I finally did apologize, my apology was so sad and insufficient. I'm sorry you were hurt. I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to hurt you. Through much growth, much struggle, and many, many humbling opportunities like this, sometimes being called out and sometimes being called in, I have learned to realize that when I do cause harm, having it brought to my attention is an opportunity. It is like a really, really good workout. I get the opportunity to examine my own reactions and responses. I get to pause, to breathe, to be mindful of the emotions that it raises in me. I get to choose what parts of myself I want to feed, the healthy part that embraces growth opportunities, or the defensive, resentful part that wants to hunker down and lash out in my own pain. I was grateful to have an opportunity to engage these muscles just the other week when I said something in the service that caused some of you pain. I am so grateful for the opportunity to reflect, to grow, to be better. After an apology email went out, I think I've gotten a little bit better at apologizing and owning my stuff. Some of you wrote me to tell me that I did nothing wrong. Dawn, you didn't do anything wrong. You don't need to apologize. But beloveds, I did. I did something wrong. I caused harm. I fell out of right relationship, not with all of you perhaps, but with some of you. Did I intend it? Of course not. But that doesn't mean it didn't happen. And that doesn't mean that I didn't damage what we are trying to build here, if even in a small way. Can you imagine how the people who reported the hurt that they felt, can you imagine how they would have felt if I had responded to them and said, well, I'm sorry you're hurt. I didn't intend it. Maybe you're too sensitive. Or what if I had tried to convince them that they weren't really hurt? Gaslighting them about how they were feeling. How would that have been? How would that have been beneficial to this community that we are trying to build together? It cost me nothing but a few moments of self-reflection to realize I had made a mistake. Not a big one, not an intentional one. It didn't mean I was a bad person. It just meant that I made a mistake. Beloveds, we are going to make mistakes. This is what is different between a covenant and a contract. That though we have broken our vows 1,000 times when we are in covenant, we can come back and try again. We get lots of opportunities to practice saying, I'm sorry. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's really painful to come back into covenant. Sometimes, oh, I know, it is excruciatingly embarrassing. Sometimes we may have to look at patterns that maybe we've been engaging in our whole lives, patterns that have served to protect us like that spiky armor, keeping others from getting close enough to us to do any damage. But when we long to be a part of authentic community, those spikes that have served us so well in the past get in the way. And they inhibit our ability to grow close to others. They inflict pain upon the very people we are longing to be with. So, some of us have gathered the courage to take off our spiky armor, to embrace brave space, to become more comfortable with vulnerability. It's not easy. It takes a lot of practice. And some of you have not gotten there yet, and that is okay. You're still wearing the spikes. I know it's heavy. I know that you desperately want to be able to take it off, but aren't yet able to for whatever reason. So this is brave space for all of us. Those of us who are getting poked by the spiky armor, and those of us who keep wearing it. My guess is that for most of us, if we have risked taking our armor off, we keep it nearby in case we suddenly need to put it on real quick. Or maybe, and this is what I aspire to, maybe if we've really grown and evolved and worked on our stuff, maybe we have armor that is more like mithril in Lord of the Rings. Bear with me, geeky people. The mithril is incredibly strong, incredibly lightweight and magic, and it doesn't actually prevent us from getting close to people. And sometimes, as much as we love a community, if we keep getting poked by other people's spiky armor over and over and over again, well, sometimes that means we might need to leave in order to take care of ourselves, or take time off to take care of ourselves and allow the community time to create boundaries for those who are still wearing the spiky armor. Because, beloveds, brave space doesn't mean that any behavior is okay. People who are wearing spiky armor should not go around pinballing against people willy-nilly. And you absolutely should not go around tackling people. You and your spiky armor are welcome here, but not all behavior is welcome here. Beloveds, we all need places where we can bring our whole, complicated, messy selves, where we don't have to be perfect to be accepted, to be loved, where we are told that we are enough, that our whole selves are welcomed, where we can give of ourselves. We all need places where we can take risks and take off our spiky armor to make ourselves vulnerable. Take the risk to make mistakes and be held accountable. To take risks and grow as human beings. Finding a faith community like this where we try to live up to our values, where we focus not on salvation in some other life, but on what we can do together, what we can create together. Finding a place like this is indeed life-saving. And it is not easy. And it is not comfortable. And, beloveds, it is totally, 100% worth it. Which is why we keep trying. Blessed be.
Good morning. My name is Judy Gallardo Grace. Each week, we give our Sunday offering to an organization that aligns with our Unitarian Universalist values, and it's committed to bringing justice and compassion to our world. This week, we are giving our offering to our partners at Housing Forward, who has been transforming lives since 1992. And they do this by striving to end homelessness, by transitioning people from housing crisis to housing stability. They have done this for about 15,000 people since their opening. You can help by donating meals or volunteer hours, and you can see our weekly newsletter for more details, and hopefully we will have actually more clarification of what you can do on separate sheets within the next month or two. You can also make a financial donation. You may donate by sending a check to the Unity Temple office with Housing Forward on the memo line, or by following the directions on your screen. Please note that your check or online donation must be received no later than the Friday after this service in order to be given to Housing Forward. If you are sitting in the back rows, you will find baskets under the pews. Please pass the baskets, and someone will be at the back of the main floor to collect all the baskets. May what you give bring you joy. Thank you.
Please join in singing Building a New Way. It's number 1017 in the Teal hymnal. We will sing all 4 verses, and please stand as you're willing and able. Thank you.
Building a new way.
Please be seated. In the immortal words of my colleague, the Reverend Wayne Arneson, take courage, friends. The way is often hard, the path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone. And now please join me in the words of our chalice extinguishing. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again.